Well, here's one of those areas that is pretty near and dear. This is actually where, I don't know if you remember the footage, but this is where my son caught his first raccoon. And this is the first place we're starting, but right here, we're on the edge of this soybean field. Just a beautiful shot in the Pine Creek Valley. But my son, a couple years ago, we had my dad out here, and I don't know if my dad was ever happier than when my son caught his first raccoon. He was fired up. He was fired up. But this was corn at the time. They've got soybean in here this year. That's not going to change the productivity of this location. I do want to make that point as we move forward through this stuff, and I'm telling stories and showing the different sets and locations. I also want to point out some of these factors that might be questions for people out there. And this was corn, and it's soybeans this year. It may go back to corn next year. It just depends probably on the market what the farmer is going to do. But this won't change the animal traffic. This soybean field is still going to have, and you can actually see a trail coming right there, and it goes right in, and there's a couple other trails over there. But those raccoons and possums and all those different things are going to work down around here. And like I said, if it doesn't match the way it was the previous year, it doesn't matter. This is soybeans. This was corn. There's still this trail. I mean, you can literally see the trail that is right there, that goes right along the edge. And I don't doubt that we're going to have something here, but don't think that you're not going to have traffic if the geographics have changed, because these trails have been here for years and years and years, and no matter what's planted in the field, we're going to have the same animal traffic working these edges, because there's a big creek down here and there's a ditch up here. They're going to use this as a crossover, but it's a beautiful location. It's where my son caught his first raccoon, and probably his third or fourth. I know he had another one here in a couple days, but that trail runs right down along the side here, right in through there, in through that thick stuff. And we're going to get it set and hopefully come back in and have some action to show you. But we're starting off the year, starting our annual trek to the homeland, I like to call it. And what a better place than to start where my dad trapped, I kind of took over, and then my son caught his first raccoon. Well, we got our sets in here. I chose, and I always choose, I don't really need to go out along that whole corridor and, you know, put one there, put one there, put one over there. What I like to do is I like to funnel them down. This is the center of concentration right here. Can I set the whole way up through there? Absolutely. I can put one up there, I can put one there, I can put one here. I can do that. I can spread them out, and they're probably going to catch critters. What I like to do, and what I always try and do, is concentrate to where you can put as many sets in as short order, and that's what I've done here. Here's the trail right here, and you can see that's where it goes in, right on this corner right here. That's where the trail goes in. So what I've done is I put one right there, come down the trail, I got another one right here, and then the trail goes in right there, out in through there, and you can see how it opens up in there. And then if they come out and go right and maybe not go left, I got them covered right there. So I got 1, 2, and 3 is right behind me. The trail, that's the focal point. This is exactly where they're gonna come in, right on this corner. You don't need to walk out there 100 yards, 50 yards, it doesn't matter. Any traffic coming this way, any traffic coming the other way, this is the concentration point, that focal point. Always do that, whether you're trapping everything from muskrat to mink to raccoon, coyote, fox. Find the spot where the most traffic's going to be coming to and from, and that's what we've done right here on this trail. 1, 2, and 3, and I'm excited to hopefully come back in here tomorrow, and if they come through, there's a good chance we'll have a double, because raccoons like to run in pairs and 3s and sometimes 4s and 5s. So that's our first set of the year. Hopefully I can do Dad and also my son proud and catch some of my own. So let's all head down the road and see if we can put some more in. We're here at the next spot, and this is actually one of my first memories with my dad. I remember coming in here. It was right here about where my truck is. We come around that turn, driving down that lane, and to the right, there was a gray fox in the trap right there. So that's pretty cool. There's corn here. They haven't cut it yet, so I can't get out there very far, but you can see it's just another great spot here in the valley. I'm pretty sure that's chicken scat, big old pile that they're going to use for their fertilizer when they cut their beans or whatever. But in here around this, I wanted to stop before I determine what I'm going to do at this point in time. But you can use these areas, you know, any animal in the area, whether it's raccoon, fox, coyote, even bear, which I'm going to show you. That's why I'm doing this right here. They're going to come in here and just investigate. What is this? It's one, it's an attention grabber from a distance, and 2, it smells. And as you look here as we go along, you can find different tracks. And I see coon tracks and coyote tracks in the same spot right there. Big coon. That is a really big coon. There's a coyote track, more coon tracks. There's another coyote track, and we come down here, there's raccoon tracks. It looks like, actually that looks like a fox track right there, and we have a pretty big front paw of a bear right there. So we've got, there's another bear print right there, big old front foot. That's actually a big bear. Quite honestly, he's probably either in that cornfield laying down or in the cornfield on the other side. But anytime you have a farm or a ranch that you're trapping out there and they have something that's a center of attention, a focal point, it's no different than a big tree in the middle of the field. Anything, that's a focal point. And look at all the animal traffic in here. I mean, that's within like 10 feet. There's another coyote track. Right there's a coyote track. Coon tracks. There's another coyote track. The bear track. And I haven't even gone down here. I started at the upper end, and I know we're going to see more tracks. Look at that. Coon tracks. So there's more coon tracks, coyote tracks right there. But we walked, what, 10 yards, 15 yards, and we see raccoon tracks, coyote tracks, fox tracks, and bear tracks right here. But we're gonna put some in. I'm actually gonna put a canine set right here. I wanna show you this though. I like this spot right here, and I'll tell you why I'm choosing this as opposed to out here in the middle. I'm gonna leave these traps in here for a few days, but this is a lane right along the field, and there's a big stream, big water barrier out there that's going to keep them in here. So if they're hunting down through there, they're going to come out, and right here is a good spot to put your trap, right on this corner. So we're going to put a couple right here, and then we're going to do the same where the lane goes down across. And we're gonna throw some DPs in here as well. So I will fully expect to have some action here over the next few days. I know they're cutting the corn here this week, so I kind of want to use that to my advantage, where they're getting tunneled down, narrowed down. Once they cut this corn, then it becomes an option for them to be running in the middle of the field, and it's harder to maybe funnel them into an area. But at this point right here, that's a great funnel point, and the opposite side is a great funnel point where they're gonna, if they come in through the other side here, they'll go out right there and maybe they'll come in there. But we're gonna narrow them down, and you know, it's just awesome to see all the traffic. I mean, look at all the coon tracks going both ways right there. I mean, you just can't beat it. Another coyote track right there. So we got animal traffic here. I'm probably just gonna, for the sake of coming in, I'm probably gonna have another trap right here on this corner where my dad snagged that gray fox. That would have been probably I wasn't much more than 6 or 7 years old. That's 1975, 76, maybe 77. So just really awesome. This is the view from this side. It's a little narrow point. We're gonna set that corner over there. We're gonna set that corner over there. We're gonna throw through, you know, 3 or 4 DPs in. We'll probably put a DP where the corn comes out on the edge there, and we're gonna finish up with a canine set right here, and hopefully be able to snag one like Dad did almost 50 years ago. You know, here's another one of those situations. We're down here, and there's a little 2-track that comes down off of that cornfield, and you can see the 2-track there. We got a barrier over here, a big creek. Nothing, you know, no raccoons or anything are going to be crossing that, so that's a nice barrier. And then we just have this little edgeway between the cornfield and the creek down through there. And you can see here, there's a trail, game trail, right in the middle of it. And you can see that's beat down. Right through here, you can see how it goes right down through the middle. And that's going to carry all of the traffic. Raccoon, possum, skunk. And I'm sure that's a lot of deer that are helping keep that open. But that's where the raccoons, possums, and skunks, maybe they're down there denning in a den tree, and this is where they're coming up to get the corn. So we're gonna put a couple sets on there and hopefully come back in here and show you tomorrow. But I remember, not many, but I remember at least 2. I did 1 for sure. My dad had a fox right there one year, probably 30 or 40 years ago when I was with him. And we're actually out here setting his spots today, and we're actually walking in his footsteps, both literally and figuratively, because I have his boots on today. And they are size 12, and I usually wear a 13 wide or sometimes a 14, so my feet are a little cramped. But Dad's out here with us putting these in the ground, and you just don't get much better of a game trail than that. And I don't see a lot of sign here, but I know that, I guarantee you, there'll be some critters go by these 2 traps tonight. It may be deer, it may be coon, it may be possum, it may be skunk, but we're gonna have something go by these 2 DPs we put in here, working out there into that cornfield, looking for something to eat. But we'll get them in there. And this is just another one of those situations, though, where the contours of the land can actually help you in so many ways, especially if you're paying attention to how it's working. This stream right here acts as a huge barrier. Those smaller critters and things, even coyotes, foxes, they're not crossing that. They will in the winter time, but they are not crossing it now. So that keeps them in this way. You got the cornfield edge right there that keeps them in this way. And here is your middle ground. And right smack dab in the middle of it is an old 2-track. It's grown up down there, but the trail comes right up through. And that's one thing when you're out there, you're gonna have this anywhere across the country. The land and the contours of it are going to help you be a better trapper by narrowing down where the animal traffic's going to be. And if you just pay attention to it, you gang up in these locations, put your sets in the ground, and any animals coming from that way, coming this way, working down here and up, working up and down, and we have everything for them here. An easy way down in and an easy way out when they want to get out of this bottom. So we're gonna get 2 more DPs right down in that trail right there. And I fully expect to have some action here. Well, we got these 2 DPs in here, and you can see here where they're right down on the trail. Right out through there. That's the trail. One there and one right here. And they are smack dab in the middle of it. You want to make those animals bump their nose right on it. Put it right in the middle of the trail. There's no need to hide them. There's no need to lure them off of the trail. Put that DP right smack dab in the middle. Make them bump their nose right on it, and they're going to work it every time, especially with that coon buster and magnet mix that we do, that crawfish essence. They can't not work it. And it's just like taking candy from a baby, putting these in the ground. Any raccoon, any possum, and the bigger skunks, when they come by, we're going to get a crack at them. So just awesome. Beautiful area. This bottom right here, working out through 2 DPs right on that trail. And hopefully we'll have something here tomorrow to show you that we actually know what the hell we're talking about.
Email us today for a free catalog to browse all of our traps and snares, baits and lures, and much more. Get all of your trapping and predation control needs by emailing to info@NorthAmericanTrapper.com for your free catalog. Proven products equals proven conservation.
So here's another instance where, paying attention to the sign and things of that nature. We're on the edge of this creek, as I showed you before. So you got a natural barrier. We've caught beaver up and down through there, and that's about what you're going to catch down there, but that's going to keep the animal traffic up through here. You got a soybean field, but here's the thing. The sign is right here in front of you. Coyote tracks right there. So the coyotes came and ran around this turn right here. And that's another thing. You notice how the tracks are on the inside edge of the turn. The coyotes will always hug that edge. The raccoons will always hug that edge. The animals hug the edge. They don't come out into the middle of the road and run down the middle of the road. They hug edges. The inside turn is where the animal traffic's always going to be, and that's right where the coyote track is. And then if you look here, we got raccoon tracks, deer tracks, bear tracks. Look at that bear track right there. He's a beauty. You can see he's there. You got more coyote tracks. You got raccoon tracks right there going both ways. Raccoon tracks. But where are they? They're on the inside edge of that little turn right there. They're on the inside edge, and then they may come out into the middle down here, but they're always gonna rub that inside edge. So there's another spot. Coon tracks, coyote tracks, the bear tracks. Obviously we don't want to catch the bear. Since we are doing the season of Dad's actually caught 2 bears, both of them up in Oregon Hill. And he's told those stories for years about how he went and called the game commission. He was not going to attempt to let the the young bears. They were both young, probably 60, 70 pound cubs, but that was always funny hearing him tell that story. But I wanted to show this. I'm not going to make a set here. We have sets down there. We're going to have sets up there. This is just a through point, and I really don't want to set this because I would put it right there, and if they come in here, I know they're going to bush hog these beans sometime in the next few days, and I don't want my traps getting ripped up, but I got them covered down below. But bear tracks, deer tracks, coyote tracks, and raccoon tracks. But pay attention, those raccoon and coyote tracks hug that edge. And that's one of those things. Use those geographical things on your line. They're gonna hug that inside edge. And if you're out there, set the inside edge and it's gonna work for you. I don't even care about wind direction when it comes to inside edges because that's where they're gonna stay. Here's another one of those situations you can pay attention to where the land is gonna tell you exactly where you need to put your sets. We're on this field edge right here. You can see this field is beautiful, nice farm, just in a really nice location for fox, coyote, and things of that nature. But there's this rock wall right here, an old homestead foundation rock wall, and it goes all the way up through, up the edge to the top. Now there's some deer trails and things like that here, but I want to show you something. You can see this trail right here. That's beat down. That comes out of there, and you can actually see right up through there where the animals are crossing right here. You can see on that big rock there at the top, coon scat. You can see the coon scat right there on the rock. That tells you right there that this is a crossing that you need to set. Now, if you're out on your land and you're looking to handle your nest raiders and you're looking to handle, you know, other critters, raccoons aren't the only thing using that. Possums, skunks, I guarantee you, coyotes, foxes, deer, everything is coming through from that field edge across this opening down this trail right here out in to this field. They may come out here and go right, they may come out here and go down, but I'm telling you, this is where all the traffic's gonna come through. And we got the coon scat on the rock and all of these fence rows. When I was driving up through, I was paying attention, looking for just little gaps, holes that I could notice maybe some animal traffic. The whole way up through there is nothing. It's thick. You can see there's no trails or anything. There is a little one down at the bottom, but it's not near as good as this one right here. And you can see that that is just beat down coming through there. Pay attention to these places. Pay attention to the land. The contours of the land are going to give you exactly what you need. And you know, anybody can do this. If you own a farm or a lease, just this piece of ground right here, any property that I go to, whether it's rolling hills, mountainous, bottomland, it doesn't matter. If I come into this field and I'm looking at this field right here and I see how the bottom goes down and then I see how it reaches to the top and I'm standing up on the other top, 99% of all the properties that I go to are going to have the animal traffic at the very top, at the very bottom, and then back here at the very top. Now, I'm not saying the animals don't run in between there. They do. But the predominant areas that you want to focus on is going to be at the top, the very bottom, and then back at the top. And this is exactly right where this trail is, back at the other top. And there's a smaller trail at the bottom, and I didn't even look at the top over there because I got past it before I started paying attention. But every property across America, if you're looking to handle your coyotes, your foxes, your nest raiders, all of them, pay attention to all of these areas, and in the areas, the micro locations where most of the traffic's going to be, and that's going to always be up the bottoms and on the tops, and that's where they hunt, and that's where your trap should go. Well, we're gonna get off of this patch of ground here, but here's just another situation I can't pass up. We're driving out, there's some old hay bales here. These things have probably been here for a couple years, but we're on the 2-track coming out of the bottom. We're on the top, and we have the hay bales right here. And they're old, they're not being used. They probably were put here, but here's the one thing that I want to show you. Look at how the raccoons are up on there using that as a toilet. You can see right there, that'd be a good place. You're not allowed in Pennsylvania, but that'd be a good place to set yourself a 160 or 220 right there. But you can see they have this padded down. I mean, it's flattened out. That's how much they've been up on here. And you can see where they've crawled up on all of them. Every one of these, I mean, look at the coon droppings, just smashed right in. You can see the track right in the scat right there. It's crazy. But just coming out of this wood lot, and you can see down here the end one. The end one even has where they're crawling up on and working around. I mean, you can see right up on there. Boom. And right here where they're rolling in and out around, probably using this big tree as a den tree. But don't pass these up. This is pretty much everywhere across America. You're gonna have these hay bales. I love hay bales, whether it's for raccoons or coyotes, foxes. They're just an attention grabber, and they get up on there, they clean themselves, and you can see they got it padded down. So we're gonna set that. Just another situation where the land and the animal traffic tells you exactly what you need to do, and don't make it harder than what it is. I know I say that a lot. I know I talk about that a lot, about it's not that hard. It's not that hard. It really, truly isn't. There's no secrets to this. There's no special bait, special lure. Yes, our coon buster and magnet is a great combination. And we do put the crawfish oil and extra things in it to entice them. If they do show up, we're gonna get a crack at them. But the biggest part of this is being on location. And this is location. They're obviously up on these hay bales. They're obviously using it as a toilet. And you can find all of these little trails. You can find these hay bales. You can find the ridges. You can find where all of the animal traffic's going, whether you're trapping for raccoons, foxes, coyotes. It doesn't matter. You can do this. It's not that hard. The biggest thing is coming out, paying attention to what's being told by the contours of the land and the animals themselves. And the more traps you have in the ground, the better chance you're going to have of success. So we're going to pound a couple DPs in here and hopefully come back in here tomorrow and show you that we were on target. We have a big waterway that comes down through, and it meets a small inlet waterway, and there's a point right there, and that point is going to get every bit of animal traffic coming up and down the small stream and left and right on the big waterway. I've caught over the last 40 years since I've had a driver's license. I kind of stole this spot once I got my driver's license from my dad. I would beat him here. He let me have it. Such a good man. Let me just run roughshod all over him. I've probably caught 20 mink at that point right there. I know I've caught at least 50 coon. I've caught probably a half a dozen beaver, copious amounts of muskrats, and I know my dad's caught tons of beaver here. He caught 2 otter here. He's caught plenty of coon, and I think he's even caught a mink or 2. So, is this spot a great spot? Absolutely, but it's no different than the stream that's going to run into this big waterway up here 2 miles. It's no different than a stream that's going to run into a bigger stream in Missouri, Arkansas, Iowa, Alabama, anywhere across the country where you find these type of areas where a big waterway meets a small waterway. That point is always going to be a good spot. High water comes in, it washes roots out, it brings new trees in, so it's never the same set year in, year out, but it's always going to be a productive place. So wherever you're at in the country, if you want to catch fur bearers and really narrow them down, find these areas and you will do that. And we're going to go over there and check out what sign we have. The last few years there's been a coon toilet in there on top of that mound just past those trees. So we're going to go in there and take a look at it and see if we can pound some more sets in. Well, we're over there on that point now, and this is the point that meets. That's the point to the big water where the little water runs in. And as I said, there was a coon toilet here last year, and we got, as you can see, coon toilet, raccoon toilet, raccoon toilet, and here's a beaver scent mound that's old. You can see where the beaver climbed up and put the scent mound right there, and the coons weren't happy with it, so they put a little of their scent on it. And that might actually be the same thing there. That almost looks like a beaver scent mound underneath the coon scat there. But this shows you right here, you got pretty much every water critter working here. I know the mink are going to work in through here, this root system. The raccoons are going to work in under here, up and around. You can see how that goes in there. Actually, in 2003, I caught a beaver in a 330 conibear, which was right there where they went up under that bank where those trees are. And I also caught one in a bait set that I had missed on that point right over there across the water. I remember coming here when I was, oh man, 10 years old, 9, 10 years old, coming down in here, and it's one of the first places I can remember my dad having a mink, and he had it right on this point behind me. Right on that point, there was obviously a whole different root system there at that time, but he had a mink floating out there in the water, and I was standing over on the bank over there and fired up. I thought it was the coolest thing. I just couldn't get past touching that mink, and he's like, "Quit touching that damn mink. You're gonna have that scent all over your hands. What ails you, boy?" What ails you? But you know, I can sit and I can talk and I can preach and I can say, just pay attention to the sign, look for these things. This is all you have to do. I know everybody's trying to figure out the secret. There's no secret. The secrets are put a lot of traps in the ground and be on location like this, where now we're not trapping beaver, but it's kind of cool. We have the coon scat on the beaver, and then we have coon scat there, coon scat there, coon scat there, and I fully expect we're gonna have these traps in here. We may not get them the first night. They may not come through here. They may work up in a cornfield and never even get down through here. But I guarantee you, I'm going to be here long enough that these raccoons are going to work this spot, and I'm going to catch them. We always do. So we'll throw a couple DPs in here, and we'll just put probably one right there, and we'll put one right here, right off of this point. The point where the two water systems meet are going to carry all of your raccoon, muskrat, mink, and beaver, otter traffic that you want. And it's right here in the sign. So pay attention to what the animals are showing you.
North American Trapper has got you covered when it comes to essential trapping baits and lures. When you're moving soil out of the field, know that you're getting the best scents available with the North American Trapper's line. Go to NorthAmericanTrapper.com today and explore the mountain man in you.